The final topic in the domain Understanding Cloud Services is understanding the difference between a public, private, and hybrid cloud models. Before I get into the private, public, and hybrid, I'm going to use a comparison that's a little bit more realistic. And this revolves around home ownership. When you own your own house, you are responsible for everything in that house, right? You have to cut the lawn. You've got to make the repairs. You have to do everything. When you have an apartment rental, you are only responsible for the contents of the apartment that you rent. You're responsible for your own dressers and furniture, but you're not responsible for, let's say, the appliances. And you're definitely not responsible for cutting the grass or shoveling the snow. In between those two is a condo. When you own a condo, you're responsible for the condo unit, but the building is the responsibility of the building owner. We are responsible for our appliances, our countertops, etc., but we don't have to shovel the snow or cut the grass. For those of you who like a visual, this is the cloud models when we apply it to home ownership. We have our house, we have the apartment rental, and we have our condo. When we apply the cloud models to this, a house becomes our private cloud, the apartment rental becomes our public cloud, and the condo is the hybrid model. When we refer to private cloud, like owning a house, the organization owns and maintains that entire data center. They are responsible for the hardware and software in that data center, the building and security, and the trained personnel. And just like in a home, typically it's a single client, which would be the organization. Now, that's not to say they're not having people to come and visit for a little bit and then have them leave, such as vendors. The apartment model matches up to the public cloud model. The service provider owns and maintains the data center, and they are responsible for the hardware and software, building security, and the trained personnel. But the difference here is public access is allowed via the internet. Just like in an apartment building, you can have several tenants within that building. It's the same concept. And the hybrid cloud matches the condo. It's a combination of the private and public cloud. The organization can leverage the benefits of the public cloud offering, including the reduced costs and overhead. Again, much like our condo, we can take advantage of somebody cutting the grass. One of the biggest reasons to move to a hybrid cloud is we can specify the location of resources. For example, we may need to keep certain resources in our private cloud to meet compliance requirements or security requirements. Let's look at this visually. In our public cloud, we can see we have multiple clients. We can access it over the internet. It's low cost. It's shared infrastructure. It's easy to deploy. It's reliable. And the cloud service provider handles it all. In the private model, it is for a single client. It can be accessed over a private network. It does have a higher cost and a dedicated infrastructure. In the private model, we need to provide the skilled personnel, and we are responsible for that entire infrastructure, but it is highly secure. And the hybrid combines the public and private clouds, and we can separate the workloads between our public and private clouds. Using the home ownership model can help you remember the difference between public, private, and hybrid cloud models.